Well, residents of the South Australian town of Truro are taking their fight over digital television to Canberra. They're furious at the extra costs they'll have to pay to install individual satellite dishes to receive the signal when it's switched over. This, mind you, is for free-to-air TV, the stuff you're watching now, hopefully. They say it would be more cost-effective for the current analogue tower to be upgraded, but the federal government is standing firm against that. Caroline Winter has the story.
Truro may only be an hour's drive north of Adelaide, but it's a whole lot further when it comes to 21st century technology.
Well, that's exactly right. It seems like we're miles away. It's something that you would assume that you can have is decent television reception, but it's not. It's just not the case.
Unfortunately for television, it happens to be in the bottom of a gully. There's a rain shadow of effect of the signal that just goes straight over the top of us.
This snowy reception is what Kristen Falkenberg and other residents have learned to put up with from an analogue signal. With the introduction of digital TV, she was hoping to tune in to something much, much better.
I've tried to get a digital signal on 2 occasions, probably spent, $750 odd, if not more. Had to get the technician back, and we still don't get a decent digital signal.
Since 1998, the analogue signal has been retransmitted by this tower to Truro and nearby Dutton from Mount Lofty in Adelaide. Ross Dawkins from the local community association says it was initially funded by the federal government, then maintained by the local council. But when analogue is switched off across Adelaide and surrounding areas at the end of 2013, the tower will become obsolete.
It frustrates me that we have a service here which has been paid for by community. The government chose to upgrade the television from analogue to digital, and if they chose to do that, so they should choose to upgrade the current site.
Truro is not alone. Broadcasters have decided to convert just 120 of the current 700 retransmission sites across the nation. In South Australia, Streaky Bay, Kimber, Woodena, Marion Bay, Lee Creek and Andamooka are just some of those to miss out. The battle for those communities now is how to upgrade and who will pay for it.
Waiting for the gift of sound and vision.
Instead of converting towers to broadcast digital TV, the government want these residents to use its satellite service known as VAST. It means each home will need 1 satellite dish installed and a set-top box for every TV. And that's estimated to cost around $1,000 per household.
They've spent the money to get their telly. They're going to have to then spend more money and then recabling through the house. Yeah, it's not fair.
While subsidies between $450 and $750 are available to viewers depending on location, the federal opposition's Senator Simon Birmingham says residents will still lose out.
All up, it's going to be, for the average household, an out-of-pocket expense of about $500 per household on average. That's a significant sum. On top of that, there's a taxpayer subsidy. So this is not a cheap way to go about it.
Simon Birmingham argues there's a cheaper, simpler option for both viewers and taxpayers. The cost of converting the existing tower to digital transmission is put at around $150,000.
Where you have several hundred households plus business premises all either getting the government subsidy plus having to pay the difference themselves, that can actually add up to being pretty close to the same cost as it would take to replace the satellite, to replace the tower that's there.
Mid-Murray Council Mayor Dave Burgess says council, as in the past, is willing to help out.
We offered some assistance with some minor infrastructure in air conditioning for the hut and the shed, as we've done in some of the other communities that need these facilities, but obviously that offer has not been taken up by the federal government.
Others argue much more is at stake than missing out on the likes of ABC News 24 or reruns of shows like The A-Team. Development plans are underway which could see Truro double in size in the coming years. But new residents who move there after 2013 won't get any subsidy at all.
I think it's just another one of the little issues that when you move into an area like this, if the services aren't there, they're just another one that ticks the box that says, no, I won't go there, which is disappointing.
So for every business and for any new house, there is a significant upfront cost just to getting your television connected.
But these arguments don't appear to have swayed the government. Communications Minister Stephen Conroy declined our request for an interview. In a statement, the government says,
"The decision to upgrade self-help towers in any area is a commercial decision made by the broadcasters and not the government. The government believes the VAST service provides a reliable and professional operated free-to-air television service and an appropriate safety net for communities such as Truro Grove, where the broadcasters do not provide terrestrial services."
And during a Senate estimates hearing this week, the Federal Communications Department denied the savings from the subsidy would cover the cost of upgrading the tower.
That's the long-term solution for these communities, rather than them having to pay through their rates to their councils the upgrade of a transmission tower.
Already the Riverland, the South East and the Spencer Gulf regions have made the switch to digital, with the rest of the state, including Adelaide, set to follow next December. The 21st century will come to Truro and those other towns, but it will cost them and they will have to wait. Not only will residents have to pay for the government's satellite system, they can't apply for the privilege for another 18 months.
You know, it's a little pocket that's forgotten. Like there's probably hundreds of little pockets around Australia that are forgotten, but, you know, add up the residents in all those little pockets, it's very frustrating.
But something vision